Wow. What do I... Wow. Okay. It's the Flame Trench. Roll the intro. It's gonna get really spicy this week. Let's all buckle up. That's a cold open, right? What do I even do after that? Just roll the thing.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. It's orange!
Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Look at this! Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You bet. Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to the Flame Trench. It's our weekly informal news show where we get a little bit spicy. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and as usual, we kind of have the dream team this week. We've got the standard crew, starting off with I'm going to go with Sawyer first because EJ is preparing a bit. Sawyer, Sawyer, how you doing, buddy?
Stop ruining my joke.
I didn't ruin it. I just postponed it.
Right, we don't even know what your joke is yet because no one can see it. Everyone's seeing Jack's lovely face. There we go. Hi, everybody.
Lovely.
It is so good to be here. I love having the OGTFT bestie crew together. This is awesome. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a spicy one. Sparks will fly.
They are. They literally are. They are flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also joining us is EJ. EJ, what are you reading this week, buddy?
Well, here I got a service manual for old Dodge right here, boy. And now the joke isn't as funny because you told people we were going to joke.
Sorry, you were under that Dodge. Is that like the manual you were using on the car that you were working on earlier, or?
Yes. See how dirty it is. Yes.
I can tell because of the way that it is.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
What kind of Dodge?
69 Coronet.
Oh yeah, that one. Nice. We've talked about that before on previous shows.
Awesome. Yeah, man, it's pretty good. But we're here to talk about space, right? So.
I'm. Can you tell that I'm not like super ultra stoked to start off this first discussion because of the places that it can potentially go?
But I like Stoke.
I do like Stoke. Stoke is awesome.
Oh, yes.
We're all giving Sawyer a run for his money this week with the pun tokens.
Literally, my money. You're taking all my pun token money here.
Give me them tokens. Give me them tokens. Let's just jump right into it. It was the name of the show. I see it on YouTube. Katy
do we actually get to hear it this time with sound?
Oh no. Go ahead.
I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and this is your Flame Trench. Flame Trench, 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 Flame Trench.
You said the thing.
I mean, it's good to know that I'm consistent, at least.
That was, I think, every time in the most recent Starbase update that Jack said the name of this show.
Nice. Here I was thinking it was going to be the Ah My Hat song that, was that Space Pope that made the Ah My Hat song? Somebody DM'd me an Ah My Hat song. Why did I just say that?
Oh, the song is brilliant. We were checking to see if it was copyrighted or not to be able to play because it's amazing.
Why do you do this to yourself, man? Stop texting. Who are you texting?
I'm not. My head is in my hands. I'm like, oh, geez, look, no text, no phone. Phone's over here.
You could have put it down. I don't believe you.
It's a good thing this isn't all over the internet when you talk about
what do you want me to do?
Like,
shut.
Let me see where you live. No,
you know where I live, terrifyingly enough.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's talk about astronauts or not. Today on Astronaut or Not, EJ, what's up with this new Shepard flight and the ensuing discourse?
Oh, dude, you hear that, guys? That's the sound of 1,000 people about to weigh in on this topic, ready and waiting at their keyboards. They're like, yeah, they're ready. They're chomping at the bit. All right. Anyway, so let's get into it. So Blue Origin launched their New Shepard rocket earlier this week. That was it's NS-31. So it's a New Shepard flight. New Shepard is a suborbital rocket. It gets to space. It goes above the internationally recognized Kármán line. It's about 100 kilometers, 62 miles if you use lunar units.
Lunits, if you will.
Lunits, yes.
Or uners.
So, uners.
I'm gonna prevent you from getting through this if I can. No, go ahead.
No, it's good. It's good. So it doesn't go. Big clarification here. So New Shepard, it is a really, really nice piece of engineering. The rocket goes up, it separates a capsule. People get, 5 to 10 minutes experiencing weightlessness. The capsule comes back down. The stage comes back down. It lands itself. It has landing legs, comes down, steers back to the landing pad and lands. This rocket does not get into orbit. So for the people that aren't well versed in this, it just goes up and comes back down. It doesn't go into orbit and orbit around the Earth like other commercial providers would, with a Dragon or a Starliner or something, or the shuttle. It doesn't go there. It just goes up, scratches the surface, and then comes right back down. Now, with that being said, New Shepard launched on the 31st flight. And this is a pretty notable kind of flight because it was an all-female crew. It was the first all-female crew on anything going past the Kármán line since Valentina Tereshkova in 1963.
Right.
Which
and
launched
the only
on a
reason
Soviet.
she was the only all-female crew is because she was the only one on board, right?
She was alone.
Technically a crew. Technically a crew.
Yep. So, it still counts, right? So, liftoff was on the 14th at 13:30 UTC. It was basically in the morning. In the morning on East Coast time. It's the only time that matters. So, it took off from Van Horn, West Texas. That's Blue Origin's kind of private spaceport. And the 6 passengers on board, I have to read the list. Let's just be okay. So, Katy Perry was on board, the pop star singer. There is a NASA engineer and STEM advocate Aisha Bowe, civil rights activist Amanda Wynn, film producer Carrie Ann Flynn, TV host Gail King, and TV journalist Lauren Sanchez. TV journalist. Okay.
Also, Jeff
TV
Bezos'
journalist,
fiance, I believe.
Yeah, that's Jeff Bezos' fiance. So they were all on board. They went up. The flight actually went really, really well. They went above the Kármán line. They went above 100 kilometers. So, like I said, that's 62 miles, 350,000 feet. If anybody really wants to get into that. So Amanda Wynn on board used her participation to highlight the role of science in promoting peace and reconciliation between the U.S. and Vietnam. Okay. Well, Katy Perry used the opportunity to promote her upcoming tour and showed the set list during the flight. The crew as a whole also said they wanted to raise STEM awareness with this mission so that more people of all ages and abilities could be inspired to break barriers. Okay. So, now, that all seems fine and dandy, but chat, let's go. I'm waiting for you to chomp at the bit. Let's go. Are these people astronauts or not? Right. There was a lot of questions kind of after this flight. The flight went off great. It was fine. They used, for the nerds that care, New Shepard used tail number 5, I think, on its third flight. It was a reused booster. Pretty good. But there is a lot of conversations around, whether these people are astronauts or not. Or do we call them astronauts? Do we rope them in the same category as the early pioneers of the space program, like even Valentina Tereshkova, Yuri Gagarin, Kamarov, Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom. I'm seeing a lot of no's in there. I'm seeing a lot of no's. What do you? I think that's the real big topic here. Now, what do you guys, Jack? What do you think? Astronauts or not? Or just not?
I swear to you, EJ, I'm not trying to deflect. I think this is a stupid question and a wrong question. I'm not saying you're stupid. This is what we're talking about on the show because that's what everyone's talking about in space, Twitter, and news and everything. Like all the major news outlets, everybody's been talking about this all week. So of course we're going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I think it's a silly question, but I promise I'm not trying to deflect. Do you think an X-15 pilot is an astronaut? And I'm asking you this because I know you're going to say yes.
They didn't go above the Kármán line.
Not an astronaut?
No.
They got astronaut wings.
Yeah, because the U.S. said, no, we think space is 50 miles, not 60 miles. And so we'll give them wings.
Okay, well, that backfired on me. Interesting. Anyway, I think anybody that's willing to strap themselves to a rocket or rocket-powered vehicle, whether it's a plane or otherwise, deserves some respect. You can think that this mission was cringe. You can think that the PR around it was, also cringe, I guess. I don't see the point in classifying these people as astronaut or not, because they did something. Some of them, did useful things with their flight. I think Lauren Sanchez had a Teachers in Space experiment underneath her seat. That's pretty cool. I just think people want something to be angry at, and by saying, no, they're not astronauts, it gives you a little dopamine hit. Gives them a little dopamine hit. They're not astronauts, they're just billionaires going on a joyride. And it's okay, guess what? Guess what was really expensive in the beginning? Traveling across the ocean on a ship, planes, cars, books, computers, smartphones, everything.
McDonald's,
Walmart,
The Gap, baseball,
America.
Sorry.
Yeah,
America.
Every technology starts off as a very expensive thing that is only the realm of the rich people. That's why, in the Columbus days or whatever, you had to go to the Queen and be like, "Hey, Queen, can I have some money to go to the New World for you, and I'll bring back lots of money." And then now it's okay, yeah, you can have a boat and go across the ocean, go on a cruise or whatever. Things get cheaper over time. Technology gets cheaper over time. And I thought, excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought we were all here to be excited about the future of spaceflight and to be excited about more people getting to go into space. Everyday people getting to go into space. Yes, these are celebrities and rich people and not everyday people. But it is a step down the ladder from only test pilots and astronauts to, okay, test pilots, astronauts, and rich people. Okay, test pilots, astronauts, and rich people, or people who are invited by rich people. Okay, the next rung down the ladder is affluent people, not rich people. The next rung down the ladder after that is you or me, buddy. Let's go. I am mind-boggled at the discourse around this mission. I understand where some of it comes from because, to be honest, yes, some of it was cringe. And I'm sorry I'm monologuing for so long, but I have to get this off my chest. It really bothers me. It really bothers me. I feel like there's no reason anybody should care this much about this mission. I expected this to happen, a couple headlines to go by, and everyone was like, yeah. Same thing when Richard Branson flew, same thing when William Shatner flew, same thing when Jeff Bezos flew, and for some reason, this mission has drawn the ire of everybody. People on either side of the political spectrum, people from the US, people from the international, I've just seen the most garbage, toxic discourse. And to me, asking, well, are they astronauts or are they just joyriding on a thing? That plays into that discourse. Let's not, yes, they're astronauts. To me, they're astronauts. I'll answer the question. I'm sorry. They are astronauts. They were on a rocket. They went into space. They didn't go into orbit, but whatever. They're astronauts. You can disagree with me. That's fine. You can think it's cringe. That's fine. I just think that is the wrong framing here. The right framing here is, hey, look, slightly more average people get to go into space now, a little bit more often, and that's cool. Hopefully, it continues to get cheaper, and we get to a point where me or you or anybody can go into space if they want, and it's not just the realm of a test pilot, who's got 3,000 hours in an F-16 for 30 years or something.
Look at him, Chad. He's getting so mad, sparks are coming out his ears.
Anyways, I think they're astronauts. Sawyer, I'll let you say your piece if you want. EJ, if you want to do a rebuttal, I'll stop talking now. Actually,
Sawyer, go.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to
Where's
shout.
See what I'm saying?
Wow. Alex, your English has gotten great.
That sizzle you hear is the sound of the burn that Sawyer just delivered.
Sorry, I got Alex length answer.
Damn.
Here's the thing. I know there's the whole argument, when you see a Virgin Galactic flight, the main argument that we hear is, did they go to space or did they not go to space? Because that one crosses the American definition of space, which is 50 miles, but not the international definition of space, which is 50 kilometers. Because America likes to do that and change all the units and things. Yeah, exactly. America likes America. But
Frick yeah.
So
McDonald's.
it's interesting to
Walmart!
hear the debate on this one. No one's debating, did they go to space or did they not go to space? Everyone agrees, yes, they went to space. They crossed the line. Were they in space for longer than 3 minutes? No, but they were absolutely in space. So I feel like that right there should be part of the definition. The fact that they went to space. If you go to space, you are technically an astronaut. Whether you performed the duties of an astronaut is a whole nother story.
I feel like this is one way in which the goalposts for this particular mission have been moved. Sorry, EJ, I don't mean to trigger you with that statement, with that turn of phrase. I feel like
Gassing me right
normally,
now?
Sawyer, like you're saying, we have that debate. You know, is Virgin Galactic or a new Shepard flight space? You know, that's the line of debate that normally happens around these flights. To me, that's what I normally remember seeing. Now, yeah, we all agree it's space, but were they astronauts? It's like, who cares? They went to frickin' space.
I mean, I think part of the reason also, and one of the big questions when it comes to like being in space and being an astronaut in that definition, is the fact that typically they have to do something to advance spaceflight, to advance humanity, to do experiments, do something. There were 2 crew members on board that were actively doing experiments. Aisha and Amanda were both there not as spaceflight participants solely, not there for a publicity stunt. They were both there as actual scientists, as actual researchers, people with degree in astrophysics, as STEM advocates. I mean, you have 2 former rocket scientists on there studying women's health. Is it only 3 minutes? Yes. But given how few studies there have been done at all on women's health in space, 3 minutes is a lot more than we normally get. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but they at least, in my books, meet the definitions of an astronaut. Whether you count Gail King and Katy Perry and all of that, I can see the debate on them. They basically kind of rode along. It's almost like the people where they would buy themselves a ticket on a Soyuz flight. They wouldn't do anything. The other 2 people would actually, go ahead and do all of the stuff with Soyuz, dock and whatnot, and they would just be there to take the pretty pictures. So I think a couple of them meet a full definition of the astronaut, and the other ones are on the questionable side. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
We have a tweet here on screen. The U.S. commercial space. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess the Department of Transportation Secretary disagrees with you, Sawyer.
Well,
Jack,
Jack,
read it.
I saw that. Go ahead and read it.
The U.S. commercial space industry is an inspiring project which showcases American ingenuity and exceptionalism. But the last FAA guidelines under the Commercial Space Astronaut Wings program were clear. Crew members who travel into space must have, quote, demonstrated activities during flight that were essential to public safety or contributed to human spaceflight safety, end quote. The crew who flew to space this week on an automated flight by Blue Origin were brave and glam, but you cannot identify as an astronaut. They do not meet the FAA astronaut criteria. Okay.
How do you do, fellow kids? Brave and glam.
Yeah, right. Government says a lot of stupid things. I care not.
Yeah.
I don't know, chat, like, do you even care? Do we even care? Like, I think this was...
Wait a minute. Hold up. I got something to say. Look, Jack, I'm kind of with you about not caring. Guys, first and foremost, I don't think this is the hill to die on.
Right?
Really?
Thank
This ain't
you.
the hill to die on. It really isn't. Now,
like, everything is burning down around us, and this is what we're going to all yell and argue about?
Yeah, your background is literally in flames, Jack.
Thank you. It's a metaphor. Sorry, EJ, go.
Now, with that all being said, hear me out here. There were some post-flight interviews that were done with some of the crew members on this flight. And one of them basically said, well, we did exactly what Alan Shepard did in 61?
61.
Yeah, we flew the exact same thing. We did the exact same thing. So he's, if he's an astronaut, we're an astronaut too. Now, see, I don't think this is the hill to die on, but I really don't. You can call yourself an astronaut if you want, but that's where I kind of take exception to this. No, you did not fly on the same exact flight as Alan Shepard. Yes, Alan Shepard flew on Mercury Redstone. He went up and he came back down. If any one of you guys flew on that flight MR1 or what is it, MR2, you'd be in the hospital. Why? Because that flight messed up Alan Shepard because he came down pulling like 9 Gs or something. It was not the flight that a new Shepard rocket is. Absolutely not. That Alan Shepard had the stones to put himself on top of an ICBM with basically a tin can strapped to him, like basically an EVA suit. I mean, Mercury capsule is basically that, right? And fly into space. Not only that, like maybe the third or fourth person to do it. I forget if another cosmonaut flew before him, but first American to do it. That is not the same thing. No, you are not the same. Absolutely not.
No, but I understand using that as an example to say we flew suborbitally, like to explain what they did. Yeah, they flew suborbitally. Was it comparable in stress to the human body or risk in any way to what Alan Shepard did? No, not a chance. Absolutely not.
No way.
Can we bring up the stupid tweet again? Can we bring that up again?
Which one? That one or Jeff's?
No, this one. I want to no, not this one. This isn't a stupid tweet. It's Jeff. Jeff is great. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Kevin. I didn't say Kevin at the start of the show. Kevin's operating today's stream. Thank you, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
It was kind of obvious with the video.
Where was it? Okay, automated flight. Automated flight by Blue Origin. Bruh. Dragon's automated.
That's what I was thinking. Here's my question.
Dragon's
then.
automated as heck. You're telling me they're at the controls of Dragon at any point? Dragon is basically a space station taxi. It's basically a space station Uber. Like,
okay.
Come on. I love
it,
Dragon. Don't get me. You can. How often do they? I would love to know.
All right, I want to ask both of you then this. And chat, I want to see your answer to this as well. So if we're talking about spaceflight participants, what if we throw orbit into it? Fram 2. Let's talk about that. Is the Fram 2 crew astronauts? They are
Absolutely.
not. They weren't officially trained as astronauts. Let's go with Chun, because he was not a pilot. He wasn't trained to fly the spacecraft in any way. He paid for the mission to go up and orbit the poles in a Dragon capsule and just do whatever he wanted. Take some videos with his phone. Of course, they did some research and things too. So would they, as people who paid for a flight into space, count as astronauts? And tell me what the difference is.
I mean, Sawyer, I think that going on a full orbital flight carries a lot more risk. And you're going above the Kármán line. I think the risk there is really where that's where the line of demarcation is. Going up and down is not orbital, all right? In going into orbit, you know good and well from shuttle missions, being a shuttle aficionado, how much more weight that carries or doesn't. Yeah, give me your pun token. So,
like, you're taking all my tokens, people. Jeez.
No tokens for Sawyer this episode.
Yeah, it's mine now. I think there's definitely a different amount of risk there, especially with Flight From 2 going into polar. And I think that's really where it comes down to. Now, once again, it shouldn't be undermined. Like, Jack, I think you said it very, very right. Dude, it takes stones to put yourself on one of these things. That takes a good amount of courage, figuratively, right?
That is setting aside the fact that of all rockets to ride on, the one that requires the least guts to fly, I think, is probably, we all agree, is New Shepard. Like, it seems super safe, super chill. It's had several aborts where everything went fine. Like,
it's a pretty well-matured system. And once again, guys, I'll be 100% real. I'm kind of with you. You can call it whatever you want. Personally, I'll call them commercial astronauts as opposed to a NASA astronaut, right? There's commercial pilots and then there's military, like government pilots, right? We have no problem with that demarcation there. Like, so, whatever. Spaceflight participant, call them whatever you want. They can call themselves whatever they want. I don't really care. I don't think that's the hill to die on. What I think is the hill to die on is the inherent risk of these missions. Do not compare yourself to Alan Shepard. That is not the same thing. And it's not the same thing. Alan Shepard was carrying way more risk doing this.
Absolutely.
And same with Scott Carpenter, same with Gus Grissom, same with Michael Collins, John Young, Jim Lovell. These guys were carrying way more risk, especially when all these lots, except for Gus, started going out to the moon. Those are much different missions. Those missions require training, and if you do one thing wrong, you could die. All right, like on New Shepard, maybe you don't get a seat buckled all the way. It's not a big deal. that could really hurt you on any of these other flights. And I think that's where people with dissenting opinions about this are really kind of getting at. That's not the same thing. Don't compare yourself to the early space pioneers. You really don't. You are astronauts. You can call yourself that. That's fine. I don't care. You could call yourself these black buzz nuts. I don't care. You can call yourself whatever you want, but don't compare yourself to that. That's not a good look. I don't think that's right.
That's fair.
I will agree completely with that. Yeah, I mean, that was a whole new level of spaceflight. It hadn't been done before. As you mentioned, the risks. A new spacecraft. Was it suborbital? Yes. Early on in the program still. They were testing out so many systems. Can humans function in space? What can and can't they do in space? Can you eat a corned beef sandwich in space? Priorities. But I think, yeah, I agree. I think we can say they went to space. They didn't go to orbit. Whether you want to define that as an astronaut, they were commercial participants that went into space, but in no way, shape, or form should they be compared to any of the early Mercury astronauts who did those suborbital flights. I will agree.
Yeah, I don't think you should compare yourself in that regard. I suppose if you want to call yourself an astronaut, that's fine. They did go to space. They did carry the risk that, once again, I just don't think it's the hill to die on. I think, but I really take a little bit of exception with comparing yourself to people from the early parts of the space program. That's not okay. Don't, that is an incredibly bad look. Sorry.
That's fair.
Just
That's fair. We have Kevin. You want to do that tweet? Let's hit that tweet from friend of the show, Jeff Faust. Worth noting, says Jeff on Twitter, the term astronaut is not defined in relevant sections of federal law or regulations for commercial spaceflight. Government astronaut and international partner astronaut are, for reasons not related to if they are flight crew or not. When the FAA operated its Commercial Space Astronaut Wings Initiative through 2021, it elected to award wings to all people who flew on commercial vehicles above 50 miles, be they flight crew or spaceflight participants. So Jeff Bezos got wings, as did Richard Branson. So did William Shatner. But who would deny Captain Kirk his astronaut wings? So if you take commercial suborbital flight and want to call yourself an astronaut, you can. You might expect some snarky comments or memes, but you're not violating, quote, FAA astronaut criteria.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Duffy's saying with his comment. I don't know. What are you talking about, bro?
Right.
What are you talking about? What, did they not go?
It's the internet. Everyone has opinions, and this was the popular thing to dunk on this week because reasons, I guess. But yeah, I do want to thank a bunch of people who are supporting the stream. And we do have some comments / questions here in the queue. If you have anything to say,
all right,
at NASASpaceflight in chat, we'll see it pop up in some software we have running in the background. Melissa, thanks for becoming a Padrat member. KO, becoming a Padrat member. Starship Troopers, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thanks so much, Starship Troopers. You're doing your part.
I'm doing my part. Would you like to know more?
I would like to know more. Tell me more.
No
one ever knows what to say.
No
one ever knows what to say when you want to know more.
I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
There we go. Morton Van Vick, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships as well. If you got gifted a membership, if your name in chat just turned green, guess what? You have access to a bunch of sweet perks, and you should thank the person that gifted it to you. I hope Kevin is ready, and I've stalled long enough so that I can say this next 5 gifted memberships was from Ninja Decimator. Pew, pew, pew. Kevin, you're a legend. Telstar86, speaking of a legend, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Blake Alexander, another legend, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Dave McKeegan.
Okay?
Sorry, Dave McKeegan made my brain stroke out for a second for some reason. With
Dave's
a super
not
chat,
here, man.
They say she can't be an astronaut since it was all fake and she never left the ground. Apparently, facepalm.
Yeah, dude, I saw that one guy on TikTok that said the same thing.
Bruh. Booster 1058, Cashew Crew. Thank you so much. They say, new command, Max Evans. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the support. They say, can we coin a new name? Astro Tourist instead of Astronaut? If you want, what is that horrible sound?
What?
Anyone hear that?
I guess that's the sound of an X-Wing? Is that?
Yeah, that might be the sound of an X-Wing.
Yeah, it was.
Astro Tourist, whatever floats your boat, man. I have very little interest in
That's where I'm at, dude. You can call them whatever. Yeah, exactly. You're splitting hairs at that point. Do I think it's right comparing him No, you can't compare yourself to NASA astronauts. Absolutely not. You want to call yourself that, I suppose. Like, if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. I just don't think this is the hill to die on, right? Like,
if I'm on a
stupid.
plane and there's a mechanical malfunction midair and we have to divert and land at a different airport, I wouldn't compare my experience to the Apollo 13 astronauts.
No, but we'd call Ryan Weber to fix it.
Hey!
Now, here's the thing. Alex, by the way, really quick, along those lines of what the name is, saying, what do you call them once we have hundreds or thousands of people that go into space? Are they still astronauts? I mean, my thought on that is the fact that you can still call them astronauts. Eventually, over time, the word may lose some of its prestige. I mean, when you think about like an airplane pilot, yeah, you think of, you know, those Top Guns originally and the people that were pioneering flight and the Lindberghs and all of that. But, you know, now so many more people are pilots. You have the commercial pilots flying airliners. You have everyday people that are flying Cessnas that are pilots. You know, they're still pilots. It just may not be the same pilot that you're thinking of from the early days of aviation. I feel like as we go along, you can still call these people astronauts. It's just, it may not be the same type of, oh, the astronauts of my day kind of thing.
Yeah. Whoa,
Hi.
whoa. You, okay.
Alex?
No, you can't.
I have a question.
No, you said you weren't going to be here for the show. I asked you
sorry.
before the show with the Membies. The Membies
I'm
are my witness. You said no.
I do have a question, though. We know that eventually it's going to lose its meaning. When does it begin? Like, when, like, is it now? Should it be now? Should it be 100 years from now? Like, it's for sure that astronaut, the word, it's going to lose its meaning at some point.
I mean, yeah, I think the meaning is people who go into space. We agree on what space is generally. We know that that's different than orbit, and therefore astronaut is a valid word. And I see a lot of people in chat, like Mick Ronald, saying, so Jack flies a drone. He is a pilot. Actually, yes, I am a certified unmanned aerial system pilot, according to the FAA.
Do all astronauts be pilots? Like,
but if I'm
not
on
all of
if I'm
them.
on a cruise ship, that doesn't mean I'm a captain. Doesn't mean I know how to sail. So I get, like, there's multiple. Like, I get it. There's multiple arguments, and then the name is going to have to change over time. I don't know. What do you Alex, Mr. Answers, Mr. Questions? What do you think?
I don't
When
care.
is that time?
I personally don't care about the definition. It just seems
Then
to
why'd
me
you-
that
Why'd you bring it up?
no, like, true. I'm in the camp of I don't care, like you were saying before, but I'm also a bit picky with the fact that a lot of people try to put constraints to the word, and it's like there's gonna be at some point where it's just gonna lose its meaning. Space is gonna be so commonplace that it's like, when is that supposed to happen? Are you gonna hold over to that passion? Oh, in the 60s, in my day, things were like this. And it's like, yeah, but we're not in the 1960s. Like, they did great job, and that's not to diminish their job, right? Like, that's my point here in what Sawyer was talking. I feel like a lot of the comments and a lot of the arguments for each or any other reason, it's like, it's always trying to hold over that sentiment. I don't know. It just feels silly to me.
I agree.
Hang on, so, wait a minute. Jack, you did a flyover of Starbase that was in the most recent Starbase update. Max,
Correct.
Julie, and Dee did the Cape flyover on a helicopter. So, are they now commercial air flight participants? Are you a
Yeah.
commercial air flight participant now, Jack?
What? Yeah,
People are saying they're commercial
sure.
spaceflight participants because they rode along in it. So if you rode
Yeah.
along in someone's Cessna to take pictures of Starbase, are you a commercial air flight participant now?
Sure.
You
yeah.
see the ridiculousness of the naming
I
now,
do.
Chad?
Yeah. I don't.
It doesn't
I don't.
matter.
I don't find, like, the distinction useful in any way. Also, Dawson in our back channel is yelling about mission specialists. Like, you don't. It doesn't have to be a pilot. A pilot-based thing. Like, you can be in an astronaut and not have anything to do with controlling or commanding the vehicle whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the mission specialists in the early shuttle days, pre-Challenger, were an employee who worked on the satellite. Hey,
Yeah,
you
like
worked
an employee
over
from
at,
Hughes or an employee from Lockheed or
yeah,
what
exactly.
have you.
worked on the satellite. Cool,
Or-
let's train you to go to space. To deploy
Or
it.
an employee from Congress.
Yeah, ballast.
Thank you,
I
Senator
mean,
Skeletor.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Remember, Sawyer,
It's the flame
proof
trench, hey.
the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, oh man.
You
I'm gonna
all
keep. I'm gonna keep running through support. Airvale, thank you for the support. They say astronaut comes from the Latin for star sailor, so perhaps it would be analogous. Analogous
Yeah.
to sailors. You're an
Annapolis.
astronaut if going to space is your profession. Otherwise, like John McDowell's term, spacer. Oh, I hate that. I love John McDowell. I hate spacer. I'd rather be flying an X-wing again. They say the title astronaut has a certain reputation for the best of the best. People who we were told to look up to as heroes. Now it feels that title can be bought. Excited for normal people to go to space, but it's not the same. That's all perfectly valid. Yeah, okay, Das, you weren't yelling. Fine, you weren't yelling. It wasn't in all caps, but
Dad's yelling at us.
He's going to turn the car around. There'll be no Cape Canaveral for anybody.
He's not mad.
Yeah,
He's
see,
just
you're
disappointed.
already dossing this up, Jack. Good job.
Oh God. Okay, I mean, I generally agree with what I'd rather be flying an X-wing is saying, but you have to think about what Alex was saying. Like, it's not the '60s anymore. These aren't all test pilots, and you can't, yes, because of the way our society is and the way that we deify individuals and have heroes and whatnot, we think of collectively astronauts as the pilots and the right stuff, the brave guy who's flying the spacecraft. You don't even think of mission specialists ever. Those are astronauts too. So I don't know. We just need to broaden the term of what an astronaut is or can be, and that is the process that is happening right now. And some people just want to yell about it, like Gamergate, frickin', kind of thing. Sawyer, you have a guitar?
Yeah, I have a question for you.
See, now Das is yelling. He said thank you in all caps.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was horrendous. Let's try again. The question is, do you ever feel
Oh God,
like a plastic bag through the wind?
Put the guitar down now.
Copyright.
Start again.
Left
did
shark.
Alex just die?
I think so. Yeah, also, I'm sucking at this right now because I'm under the pressure, but yeah.
Nice. I didn't even know you could play guitar. I guess actually that's a lie. I guess I did.
Yeah, it's not just for show.
I knew he
All
could
right.
play guitar, Jack. I'm a better friend than you.
You are a better friend. You should get a bass, and then I'll get a drum set, and we'll start the NSF band.
I'm in.
That's why we can get away with this, though, without the copyright. Don't worry, Chris Burrian. That's
can-
why I broke it
can we
and played
call-
it absolutely terribly, not because I'm rusty. It's fine.
Ryan,
a minute.
Ryan Caton can be our edgy singer, or lead singer.
That'll work. Can we call
That would
ourselves astronauts? Can we call the band that?
It's too good. It's too good. Oh,
See,
goodness.
those folks that say it's always just there in the background for show. I do play it occasionally. Not well, but I play it. There you go. Proof. Now it's on the internet.
Chaos 4, thank you for the support. They say, I can't believe anybody on this channel who's so passionate about space flights is calling them astronauts.
I mean, I'm indifferent, dude. I would if I was gonna put anything on, I'd say spaceflight participant or just passenger or something. Where I take exception is comparing
Crew?
yourself to
Is crew okay with you?
Crew is fine. Where I take exception is comparing yourself to Yuri Gagarin, Valentina Tereshkova, Alan Shepard, John Glenn. Hell no, you are not in the same category as them. No way, not a chance, dude.
Yeah, and I understand.
There was very big risk.
People...
They could have died. Like Gus Grissom, Gus Grissom, Ed White and Roger Chaffee, Kamarov, the crew Soyuz 11. These guys, there was real risk here.
Was Kamarov the guy that yelled the whole way down because he was salty? As he got roasted?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, way to put it so bluntly.
It's the flame trench. What do you want from me? If this was a live stream for a rocket launch, I wouldn't have even asked the question.
You're roasting a guy who literally roasted to death. Come on.
I'm just describing what happened to him.
This isn't Luke Gibson on the last show on Sunday here. Come on.
Based on his comments, in his final words, he would probably appreciate a unvarnished description of his horrible end. Anyways, hey, let's do some more support. That's a great segue, right?
Wow.
Austin Skirvin, thank you for the $5 tip. They say, crazy week here in the space sector. If you know, you just lost the game. Oh, dang it. Gunfox, thanks for the support. They say, gifting 5 red team memberships. They didn't say that. They just gifted them. Greg Watson, thanks for the support. They say, I think we're at an inflection point where terms like astronaut and cosmonaut need a better definition. There was a time where everyone that flew was a pilot, but that time is long past. Nailed it.
But
if I fly into
everyone
space, I'm calling myself a banana knot. Is that fair?
Sure.
But I mean, again, we're talking about
No.
if you're flying flying a plane is in flying, because then everyone's still technically a pilot that flies a plane, but versus flying in a plane.
See, this is the reason why I don't think this is the hill to die on here, because this is a hot dog a sandwich question at this point.
Right.
And yeah, I don't want to be a part of this. Can we move to the next topic? I want to be a part of this no more.
I'm trying to get through support. Chaos.
Segue us out, Jack.
Chaos, thank you. They say the world lost all prestige with this crap. I disagree, but you're welcome to your opinion. GK Walker, they say the term astronaut isn't losing its meaning. It's becoming the standard term for people who go to space, which is great, just like Kleenex and Band-Aid. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's very
yes.
much what's going on.
It's a proprietary eponym.
Yes, write that down and Xerox it.
Pause attraction.
Blake Alexander with a $40 super. Thank you so much, Blake. They say $10 puns, $10 laser sound effects, $10 impersonations, $10 great flame trenchy dialogue, even the silly debate on definitions. Let's focus on getting more people up, not debating semantics. Thanks, EJ, Jack, and Sawyer. Thank you, Blake Alexander, for putting a nice little bow on the discussion so we can move on.
Yes, now send me to space. I don't care what vehicle it's on. Send me to space. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I want to go to space so bad. Send me to space, please. Send me to space, please, please. First Mars ship. I'll go. I don't care.
I don't care what you call me. Call me a trenchonaut, because I'll be coming up the flame trench onto it. That's fine with me. We are trenchonauts here, folks. The three of us are trenchonauts.
I'm a banana knot. Leave me alone.
That's not an appealing title, dude.
What? It's appealing to me.
I think might have missed a Space Pope super in there. Sorry if I did. Speaking of calling yourself whatever you want, Space Pope. Thank you so much. I think there was a $50 super in there. I might have gotten lost in the fray there. But thank you, Space Pope, for always blessing the trench. Was that? Oh, we have a nice little Space Pope sound. Space. Wait, do it again. Do it again, Kevin. Space. Yeah. I need to learn Latin now. Thanks. I'm going to start Duolingoing Latin. Can you do that? We're not sponsored by them, by the way.
Liberate a te ex inferis.
All right.
Also,
Next topic.
EJ,
Jack.
before we go, someone in chat said, EJ, if anyone is a banana knot, it's me, and their name in chat is Mr. Banana. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm a banana. Oh, God.
Is that the Halo theme? Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It is the Halo. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
No, I just want to throw a sticky grenade on somebody. Takes me back.
No, I will use my energy sword first. Sorry.
Next Starship launch, can we get a bunch of original Xboxes and do like an old school LAN with everyone that's here? That would be so fun.
I mean, I still have my 360, but...
Anyways.
Bruh, I have my original Xbox.
Nice.
Wait,
yeah.
Xbox? You have an X on your shirt? X gonna give it to you?
Bum, 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 We're going to get sued, dude. Dun, 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 dude.
Don't make me bring out the guitar again. I will play it terribly.
Hey, Sawyer, you know what you can bring out? The next topic. Tell us about Artemis 2 taking shape, please.
That was smooth, dude. That was smooth. So, speaking
You
of
weren't even ready for it. That's how smooth it was. Don't slip.
So, speaking of questionable flights, SLS. Artemis 2 is stacking now big time inside of NASA's vehicle assembly building at the Kennedy Space Center. So, recently we saw them put all of the segments of the SRBs together, rolling them over from what was the ARF, and then putting them into the VAB and stacking up the 5 segments, and then topping off the nose cone on each of them. That meant it was time for the big orange boy, aka the core stage, which you see on your screen there. That, which originally came over from Michoud in Louisiana, was rolled over. We saw it come over into the turn basin, rolled into the VAB, and now it was finally stacked and attached to the mobile launcher to be mated with those 2 SRBs on each side. So Artemis 2 is literally taking shape. But there is more. With the first stage essentially put together, now crews are getting ready for the upper stage. So first is an adapter, because the first stage is almost 9 meters in diameter, and the ICPS, the second stage, so to speak, that one is, I believe, 5 meters. So that's, yeah. So instead you need like one of those Kerbal Rocketdyne adapters, and they mounted that on. And
Turbodyne?
yeah, see, so there it is. And in case you're wondering how they actually secure it to the core stage, it is 360 bolts that each have to be screwed into place and tightened and checked that they're actually tight. So there is that adapter, and it took a lot of bolts and a lot of nuts to get those nuts and bolts in place. But the nuts and bolts are done, so next up hopefully will be the loading of the ICPS, which, in case you're wondering, wait, where is it? It's been there. It's been sitting there for 4 years now. It was sent over. So, yeah, it's been waiting. It's ready. It's just been in storage. So they'll do that, and then hopefully, eventually, we'll figure out what the deal is with the heat shield on Orion, and then get that mounted on top as well. So hopefully, we are getting close to the Artemis 2 flight, and for future Artemis flights, as you can see there, they are working on continuing to stack Mobile Launcher 2. ML1 is the one that they've been stacking all of this onto for Artemis 2 in the VAB, and this one, the 7th segment, just recently arrived. So you would know that if you watched the most recent episode of the SpaceCoast flyover that just came out this past week here on the NSF channel. Subtle plug.
Such a great episode, honestly. And the cool thing is we flew in Starbase and we flew at the SpaceCoast, so we could kind of like reference both in our videos. Like on Monday we had the Starbase flyover, on Wednesday we had the Cape flyover, and both of them talk about each other. It's just it made me very happy that we were able to have
I'll tell you what I do,
coverage.
man. I'd do two flyers at the same time, man.
And they both flew the exact same day, nonetheless, too. Both on the 11th.
Yep, dang straight. Always wanted to do that.
I figure if I had $1 million, I could pull something like that off. Oh,
you
God.
Know, chats dig dudes with flyovers.
I love you, EJ. I love you so much. We have some questions coming in about SLS as well. Sawyer, were you... sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If I did... Do you have more, or should we go straight to questions?
That was the key points. I know there's going to be things that probably want to be debated.
Right. All right. Well, let's go to this question here from Ricky Nixon. That's.
I think it would be Tricky Dick Nixon. That would be the right name.
That's better.
All I can do is Aru, and it's not a good one. Thank you. So they have to launch within a certain time after installing the SRBs, right? How long is that? It's like, 18 months? Something like that?
Is it the SRB specifically, or is it the FTS systems?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's like saying ATM machine, but the FTS.
I was going to call you out on it, man. Dang.
I caught myself. I know.
You good.
My acronyms. I messed up.
No, it's all good. Guys, I ain't worried about shelf life on the SRBs. I think the shelf life there is just out of an abundance of caution, which reads quite well for NASA. NASA also thought the safest way to, make sure the shuttle engines work is to rebuild them every time. Something that, Bill Gerstenmaier over at SpaceX, who basically ran the shuttle program for a little while, said that was an insane thing to do, quite frankly. I really, honestly and truly don't think there's a shelf life on those SRBs. I think that's just NASA being like, okay, maybe we should check them. And the reason why is because they're using the propellants on those solids. They're using hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene and ammonium perchlorate with aluminum flakes. All right, I'm gonna get real here for a second. That's the same exact stuff that we use to put it, that we put in ICBM first stages, and those sit in silos for a very long time. We did just see a Minotaur launch the other day. What is it? The L-179 mission. Awesome mission out of Vandenberg. We didn't get to see it Minotaur, though. Yeah, but exactly. Those Minotaurs, guys, are not new. The Minotaur 4 launch vehicle is made out of leftover MX Peacekeeper missiles that were manufactured in the 80s.
Yeah, we had a whole entire line of ICBMs called the Peacekeeper that not a lot of people knew about, and it was in a lot of ways, I don't know if better is the right word, more capable than a Minuteman III. But we, as part of like arms talks, got rid of the Peacekeepers, which could carry more warheads and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But what do you do with all those leftover Peacekeeper boosters? Minotaur, baby! That's why we say it's an ICBM, because it's basically an ICBM, but instead of nukes on it, you put a payload.
Yeah, exactly. If that thing can sit for 30 years in its silo, I ain't worried about the SLS SRBs, man. I ain't worried about it.
And didn't
there is
Artemis
like a NASA mandated time limit, but they've extended it in the past. Sorry, Sawyer, go.
I was gonna say, didn't Artemis 2 like go 2 years from stack to launch for the SRBs?
Artemis 1? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Alex in the back. Yeah, Artemis 1, 2 years.
Sawyer's from the future confirmed.
Wait, what?
Sawyer's from the future.
Did I say Artemis 2 instead of Artemis 1?
You did. That was great.
Yeah,
good
dude,
question.
I don't think. Yeah, that's what I mean. They were like, oh yeah, the shelf life is 12 months. Oh, never mind, it's 18 months. Never mind, it's 2 years. All right, it flew and it's fine.
They can just do an extension.
I really ain't worried.
Yeah, remember the 90-day limit on the, or 45 or 90-day limit on the FTS, or the batteries on the FTS on the SRBs when it was out for Artemis 1, that they totally extended and then had to roll back because of a hurricane and change it out, and then could have kept extending?
I still haven't recovered financially from Artemis 1.
What?
It's bad.
Jack will never financially recover from this.
I will. Yeah. Thank you.
That's why you just live on the East Coast, where all the rockets are.
Yeah, where the landscape is boring, and anyways, I'm not. Good try. That was bait.
East Coast Festival.
That was bait.
Oh heck yeah, it was.
Telstar 86 again. They say, sorry, EJ. There's already been a banana knot, so you can't be that. Remember the cargo in Starship.
Ah, crap. You're
Bill
right.
Caraveau.
You're muted.
They say Team Wendy's. I'm muted.
No, you're fine. EJ, I think, is muted to us. I don't know if he was muted to chat.
Oh.
No,
Don't scare me like that.
No, you're good.
Dave, with a $55.55 super chat. Thank you so much, Dave. They say, I celebrated 5 years sober on Monday. This argument is making me want to drink. Kidding. It's good that you have a sense of humor about it, man. Congratulations.
Dave.
That's huge.
That's
my
awesome.
guy. That's awesome. Big W right there.
Yeah. Keep fighting the good fight. We're super happy for you, and thanks for tuning in on your Friday night. Hopefully we're providing you some enjoyment, especially now that we've moved on to this instead of
less controversial, SLS.
Yeah, right. Rough Rider Show, whoever that is, they say, now I want a grackle sound. No, Gage.
Oh, that's Gaye.
No.
Praise Gaye.
No. Although today, while I was filming clips for the Starbase summary videos and Starbase update, I was filming the chopsticks. They were doing like a wiggle test, and a grackle flew directly past my camera and like did its loud, weird electronic bird noise because they're fake robot birds. So hopefully we have good audio of that. But no, you can't have it, Gage. Sandrine.
3 grackles.
Gage is actually out here. 3 grackle. Oh God, EJ, you are number one at triggering my ADD. Like you can immediately make me derail. No matter, like you just know you can say whatever random thing. But Gage is out here actually in Starbase. I'm surprised he's not popping out from behind the green screen.
Is that a compliment, by the way, or
Gage has been doing a lot. So thank you, Gage. Sandrine.
Hi, Gage.
Thank you for the support, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. More questions about SLS. Keep them coming. Astro Josh 86 is asking, do you think Artemis will last as long as it's projected to?
How long is it projected to last?
What do you define as that?
That's a good question. Do you think they'll, well, okay. Astro Josh, if you're in chat, you can clarify. I'm looking at chat. But for the sake of show, let's just say 3 missions. Do we think Artemis will get to a moon landing on mission 3?
Yes.
And actually get that far.
Yep. I do. Sawyer, do you?
Oh, I absolutely do. I mean, the fact that they're continuing still, for some reason, to stack ML2 means they want to keep going. They want to go farther with it. Obviously, they're going to have to prepare it for once they switch to the IUS, the different upper stage. I think at this point, they also have a contract out, not just to SpaceX, but also to Blue Origin for their lunar lander. And I mean, I feel like they're going to at least get to Artemis 5 would be my guess to complete that contract and not have to deal with paying out for services not rendered and all that. As long as there is the political willpower to at least let it get to that point, I could see it getting to Artemis 5 and then being canceled.
And they're already working on long lead items out to like Artemis 12, dude. I
know. There's parts already. We did a tour. We did one with Philip a while ago at Bashoud, and we saw parts for those further Artemis missions, I believe, right here on the channel. Right?
Yeah. So, all right. I got a little bit of a spicy take here. I think SLS will get canceled, but I think it'll get canceled because the program will get canceled and refactored because it needs to. You gotta change your procurement. We do have long lead items out to like Artemis 12, but Artemis 12 is like net like 2035 or something. And that's where I think if anything's going to happen, they're going to change the procurement for SLS, and that requires restructuring contracts. So you technically cancel it on paper, and then you cancel it, and then rewrite how you do the procurement. Because honestly, if SLS is going to survive, it's going to have to launch more, not less. One launch a year is clown shoes, to be 100% honest with you.
One launch every 18 months is like not even shoelaces.
It's clown shoes.
It's like the red honk nose.
Yep. Yeah.
One thing that's worth noting, though, EJ, you say that there's already hardware made for it and everything. It's a good thing there's no precedent of having, other missions on the book, say for Apollo, like 18, 19, and 20, having full rockets and full landers and canceling it.
Stop, Sawyer, you're twisting the knife. Stop. It hurts. It hurts physically. What's the line from Simpsons? Stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
Say the line, Jack.
He said the thing.
But, that's what I mean. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if some of those further missions do get canceled. But, again, I feel like they at least have to complete that part of the contract, or else... Do we know what happens if they don't actually get to Artemis 5, even though they've already given Blue Origin the contract for Blue Moon?
I don't know. I don't know what would happen. But why do you think it won't go past Artemis 5, though?
I mean, that's what they have the contract for, and just with the way that everything has been sounding, going back to the whole episode a couple weeks ago with the confirmation and everything, and just the public's view of it, the taxpayer money that's gone into it, and the concerns from the public, I think they don't want a repeat of Constellation, but they want something pretty darn close to it, where they can at least say, hey, we got something out of it, okay, done. Now let's go everything private.
Yeah, the last time we said, no, this is expensive, but, let's push through to get something out of it, we canceled Apollo.
And we also then kept going with Shuttle.
That was generally a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything is going to be a cancellation for refactoring, I hope we learn from history. Just saying.
I'm worried that we didn't. Just because we saw it with Apollo, we saw it with Shuttle, we saw it with Constellation canceling it early. The whole history doomed to repeat itself if we don't learn. I don't think we've learned.
Yeah, I mean, canceling the project to refactor it sounds well and good, and it might be just exactly what's actually needed. I'm not saying it's not, but I worry that that's the exact kind of thing that tacks on a number of years. Just, bam, 2 years down the drain for refactoring. That's the kind of thing, like, it does need to be done, but for the love of God, don't make it so that we have to go through another gap like we did when Shuttle ended and we're waiting for some sort of replacement. Thank God Starship's coming online. Thank God we have Dragon. Thank God New Glenn's coming online. There's all different. It's not going to be the same situation, but what else can carry Orion right now besides
New
SLS?
Glenn.
That would be amazing. How long is it going to take to qualify that? Less than a year, you think?
I mean, if Blue's operating by, I'm pretty sure Blue Origin engineered that rocket. Huh?
It's NASA and Blue. I love them both, don't get me wrong. I don't see the process of qualifying Orion to fly on New Glenn, should that actually happen, taking less than, 2 years.
I mean, right now, New Glenn isn't even crew rated, so you have to do that first and before even considering getting it ready for Orion.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. I think, that would be an amazing combination and it should happen. Do I think it will happen quickly on a time scale that I'm impatiently, happy with? No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but if you're Jack, if say we did do that, say we said, oh, we need to test for instance, we need to test Orion's heat shield. Let's test it on New Glenn and have New Glenn shoot it as far as it can into space, test the heat shield, test it uncrewed, right? Get some good data on blocking your heat shield, et cetera, versus a honeycomb lattice heat shield, right? You delay by 2 years. Right. And then you could start building up SLSs. You start building up SLSs industrial base in that time, work on increased procurement, get the human rating. And now, Blue Origin is not going to make less New Glens, right? They're going to make more. They're going to ramp up. They have to for Project Kuiper. So you're ramping up into a hardware-rich commercial program to move your capsule to LEO. That opens up the opportunities to take SLS and use it for straight cargo, which gives it enough payload mass and capacity to put like a lander up there. And then you could use, in this kind of analogy, you could use SLS as your Ares 5, and you could use New Glenn, reusable, by the way, as your Ares 1. And you could significantly refactor your spaceflight architecture, and it wouldn't take very long. 2 years to fix kind of everything with the SLS program. I don't know about you guys. I'm willing to pay for that. That's like not, you know what I mean? Like I'd be willing to wait for that.
2 years to fritter away. 2 years from now is going to be 2027.
Yeah.
Like, if China's on the moon in 2028.
I don't mean this as a demerit towards the Chinese national space program or anything, but I don't think they're getting near the moon anytime soon. And I'm willing to say that and put that out in public. You need a big rocket to do it. Where's the big rocket? Where's the big pad? I don't see any of that. Long March 9, we know it's in the works. And once again, you'd be entirely out of your mind to say that they won't get it. They'll get there. They absolutely will get there. I just don't think that's going to happen until the 2030s.
I know which
you
rocket
need a big
would do it.
Long March 5.
Long March 5.
You're gonna use Long March 5. You're gonna use those to do an Earth orbit rendezvous style program. All right, have fun with that. EOR was not chosen by the Apollo engineers for the Apollo program because it would have taken too much time.
Yeah, I get it. China or not, 2 years. I'm impatient, right? China. Oh God. I'm impatient, right? Like, I want to get to the moon as soon as possible. I want to get to Mars as soon as possible. I want to send probes to every single planet and celestial body as soon as possible. I only am going to live so long. We're only going to have so much time on this planet, and I want to know as many things as possible. So, 2 years. If you're telling me it's going to fix everything, like, sure. But I'm deeply skeptical, and I'm deeply impatient. So that's like, that's where I'm coming from. If we can get it done faster by just like trudging through the snow uphill both ways and dealing with an expensive SLS for the near term, and then just canceling it outright or something later, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I have faith that hopefully Jared will be able to figure one out if and when he's confirmed.
Here's my one thing with that. If you can guarantee that it would be 2 years, that's one thing. This is NASA we're talking about. This is a federal agency relying on a federal budget and congressional approval basically for all that they do. There is no way to guarantee that is going to be 2 years, and we don't get a Constellation deal where they start restructuring it and end up canceling and redoing the entire program. And here we are now, 2025, after the first flight of the ugly, terrible, you're welcome, Ares 1X, 15 years later, and we still haven't put people on it.
I suppose that's a fair point. Don't you dare badmouth Ares.
Oh, I will badmouth it with the worst possible breath. I will go eat liver and onions and say the words Ares 1X just to badmouth it.
Did you see the cold open last week, Sawyer?
What, the mock Jared trial?
Yeah.
Yes, that was brilliant.
What'd you think?
It was just the president. No, I'm kidding. I enjoy it.
It's a great rocket, right? It's a great rocket.
No, it is not.
It's a great rocket.
Ares
It's a
1X is
fantastic rocket.
absolutely not.
It's the best. It's a great rocket. It's
No,
sufficient.
it's not.
It's simple. Best part is no part. It's a solid, baby. That's like no parts at all.
There's a reason it's not flying right now.
Yeah, because we canceled it prematurely.
Because we're stupid.
And that was not a good idea.
I mean, you keep saying you're stupid. Go ahead. I'm not arguing that. I'm talking about a stupid rocket, though.
All right. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing asking, what's the latest with Rook than a $2 super chat. Thank you. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing for all the super chats. Like, literally, we can't keep doing this stuff without y'all support. Latest with Rook. Not confirmed yet. We don't know. Like, there's like a back and forth where he could submit answers and then senators could submit questions or something. And,
Congress is on vacation. They're on vacation. They need a 2-week vacation for Easter and Passover.
Of course they do. I would love a 2-week vacation for Easter and Passover, but
Jack,
do I get one? No.
I've never taken.
Jack, you know that.
I've never taken a 2-week vacation ever. It's like ever.
Right.
Like that's never happened, dude.
Right.
Must
be nice.
I mean, there's certain lovely NSF vacations you could be taking. Come on. The NSF vacations package.
Don't get me wrong. I get to go and see a lot of cool places. Anyways.
But
NSF Adventure Vacation Package.
Hey, man. I can be the Starbase tour guide and the West Coast tour guide.
Yes, the Voice of God vacation package at NSF. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great voice.
In case you're wondering what's going on with that as well, and I mean, all of this comes down to budget, and there's going to be a lot of questions once we expect them to confirm Rook, once they confirm Jared Isaacman. As soon as that confirmation happens, we do have a video coming out that will go super in-depth into all of this, into where NASA is at, what the budget is, where we're coming up with it, and Jared's background and the potential role that he will play. So stay tuned. If you're not already, absolutely subscribe now. Notification bell, blah, 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 all that.
Yeah, that's a very special Ryan Caton production, written and produced by Ryan Caton, edited by Ryan Caton, starring Ryan Caton.
Yes.
Set design, set dressing, wardrobe, makeup, all Ryan Caton.
Graphics department,
also,
Ryan Caton.
Yeah. Special effects, Ryan Caton.
Long March 5, Ryan Caton.
Catering, Ryan Caton. Long March 5, Ryan Caton. EJ, Ryan Caton.
Yes.
Me, Ryan Caton. Sawyer, Ryan Caton. Kevin, what are you doing to my brain?
I have a feeling that by the end of this, all of our name cards are just going to say Ryan Caton.
Ryan Caton.
Yep.
Oh, God. Also, Ryan Caton in our back channel says the question period for Jared's confirmation, like senators can ask him a question, he submits answers. That ended on the 15th. So now we're just waiting. We'll see what happens. Good question, though, from I'd Rather Be Flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the support, buddy. I'd rather be flying Ryan Caton. Dash Riptide. Thank you for the support. I think I broke Sawyer. They say, why not just build a second stage booster for Starship and slap Orion capsules and forget spending money on the current hardware? Buddy, sure, that sounds great, right? Why not, like, if rockets were powered on why not justs, we'd have a colony on Pluto already.
If that was the case, then Moldy Space would be modeling every single rocket in existence like he does in Kerbal.
Yes, exactly. Voice of Orion Caton production. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, Kevin is messing around. The reason why not is because rockets take time and money, and engineering is not trivial to do. So there's never any slap anything on anything. I wish there was. Like, the closest you get to that maybe is like ULA's dial-a-rocket, where you can slap more SRBs on there, but that's not, like, they still studied that rigorously, tested it rigorously, et cetera, et cetera. And that stuff takes time and money. So it's always like, scorched earth, start from new, or band-aid an existing thing, or keep trudging along with the failed thing. Like, there's no answers.
I'm just going to point this out, and I know this is going to be weird. This is why I think if any SLS cancellation is going to happen, it's going to be a refactor. But I'll just say this in light of that. Anytime we have canceled something that has hardware that flies and or works in some capacity, it has been a stupid decision. All right? That has not worked one time. Let's cancel Apollo. The shuttle will be cheaper. That's great. Okay, cool. Let's do Constellation because the shuttle doesn't work. Okay, that's good. Cool. Let's not do Constellation. We can't do Constellation. It's too expensive. It's, and they're underperforming. Never mind that we underfunded them for 2 years straight. They're underperforming. It's never going to work right. Let's get rid of it. Like every time that has happened, every time, without fail, it has ended poorly. Canceling is a really bad idea. It was a bad idea then, it's a bad idea now. It's still a bad idea. It's going to be a bad idea in 5 years. It'll be a bad idea in 10. Just saying.
So you think it's a bad idea?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It's one of those things where I wish, as much as I hate Ares 1X and Ares 1, I wish that would have been flying because we would be on the moon by now. I think we can all safely say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, Starship is going to play a major role moving forward. And I think that's going to become the argument, the fact that people will go, hey, we should just cancel SLS and do everything private, do everything with Starship like they did with commercial crew. But
that was the argument made for canceling Constellation. How did that turn out? Oh, yeah, that turned out with us not putting people in space from the U.S. for 10 years. Good call. Yeah, let's do that.
You really like that sound effect today. That's my worry is that's what would happen there is, yes. And a reminder, the original goal from day one when this was all happening, NASA has said this, Congress kind of figured this out, let's give low Earth orbit to commercial industry and NASA will focus on the moon and Mars. Yes, you have Elon wants to move on to Mars. Yes, you have Starship planning to be able to put people on Mars. Yes, Starship is contracted to land people on the moon, but in terms of the actual lunar exploration and going outward with a program like SLS, that is solely NASA, whereas everything else, launching, a couple hundred, let's say, Starlink satellites on a Starship, totally a commercial endeavor. Speaking of endeavor, easy to know that that's the best shuttle, my favorite space shuttle, the best space shuttle.
It's Atlantis. No, it's Atlantis.
Challenger.
Also the Crew Dragon, Endeavor. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just all human. It's all human spaceflight.
Where are you going with this, Sawyer? I couldn't possibly imagine.
What? That Endeavor was fantastic for human spaceflight, and we even have a shirt related to it at shop.nasaspaceflight.com about our whole human spaceflight merch.
I do love this new design. It is mighty fine.
Nice background, Jack.
What happened to my background?
Area, but who needs that background when we enter a new era in human spaceflight with the awesome new merch line that's available as we honor the 64 years since the first flight of Yuri Gagarin and 44 years since the first flight of Space Shuttle. While it may not have been the best shuttle, Columbia was the first shuttle, and we love her just as much. All of that at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. Right, Jack?
Did Ryan design those shirts?
No, I think Jacques did.
Oh. As long as Ryan is doing everything, you know what he should do? He should start an airliner and call it Ryan Katy Air.
And he could charge for the bathroom. And the seat back could have the safety stuff just printed directly on the seat back.
And make sure make sure that when you land, your spine ends up in your skull.
Yeah. Maybe, Ryan Katy Air, that doesn't sound right. Maybe just Ryan Air.
Yeah, Ryanair.
Ooh, that's better.
It's like nice and snappy.
That's a good idea. You should do that.
Maybe you could charge like 20, I don't know, euros for a flight, whatever a euro is, and
I'm thinking
just really cram people in there like a sardine can and charge like $1 or €1 or whatever for a drink or something.
It's a good idea.
Really ring passengers out.
I think blue, white, and yellow exterior.
Yeah. So it looks like a big banana. Yeah, I'm in.
We do have a question about Ryan Caton from Booster 1058 asking, is Ryan Caton going to cancel SLS?
I hope not.
I hope not, too.
I hope not. That would be not very cash money of him.
More questions. Severin is asking, when they eventually launch crewed starships, what will the launch escape system look like? Do they just hot stage right there and take the whole ship with them? Something like that. There's not going to be that's going to be the closest thing to a launch escape system that Starship has, as far as we know so far.
Hey, it's a good thing, we've learned that it's totally safe and totally fine to have a vehicle that doesn't have a launch escape system or a way to at least have crew escape safely in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds of flight.
Okay. It's really bad. Shouldn't do it.
Hey guys, I got a question. What happens if a plane has a twin engine failure on ascent?
On ascent, like you're already off the runway, you're climbing into cruise altitude.
Yeah, you're past V2.
You try and turn around and go back to the airport.
Now watch this glide.
Yeah. Now watch this glide.
You dead stick it in.
Could Starship do something like that? Does Starship have a similar abort contingency? Because that's they want to treat it like an airplane. Sorry, just relevant thought.
But wait a minute. If it has to slow itself down to be caught by the chopsticks and do a burn and you lose your engines, how are you going to catch?
Right.
I mean, you have 6 of them.
Aw, flame out.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's a good question, EJ. I mean, I think the answer...
Find the Hudson River. Where's the Starship? Are we launching Starships from LaGuardia now, or probably would be about the same noise? Just saying, like.
Yeah. No, like, I understand your question. The answer is you would use some of your engines that are hopefully remaining to land.
The point that I'm trying to make is that a plane, planes don't have parachutes. Planes don't have a launch escape system. Okay. Does the 747 have one, Jack?
No. Small, little, tiny general aviation planes. Some of them can be fitted with a parachute. I'm being a smart butt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's compare that. That works really well in this analogy when we're comparing it to a rocket that's designed to go to Mars.
I like being annoyingly specific. I'm sorry. I will try and be quiet. You please continue. You were making a good point.
Yes, the caps were
okay.
Anyway.
Dr. Parachute, man.
The most kerbal solution.
Anyway, so like a 737 or an A320 or A319, they don't have an escape system. There's no abort system. So I think that looking at Starship and being like, where's the launch escape system? Where's the launch escape system? What are we going to do? I don't think that's the right way to look at it. Saying it doesn't have like Super Dracos on the side, like Dragon or something, like there's no dedicated launch escape system. I think that kind of, that's not asking the right questions with Starship. Starship is supposed to operate more like an airplane. So if you're thinking about like, okay, what does an airplane use if there is a problem, God forbid, like after you leave the runway, you're at like max takeoff weight, you leave the runway. What's the contingency there? I think thinking about what Starship's abort contingencies are would be very much pertaining to the flight hardware that it has, like it would on an airplane. Jack, you said, what do you do? You glide back to the runway. Now, does Starship glide back to the runway?
No,
right?
Absolutely not.
But
especially
the point
if there's a booster that just landed on it.
Exactly.
Also,
but the point is that you're using the wings that were already existing on the plane. There's not a specialized added system that is designed for an abort contingency.
But
so
even the flaps on Starship, like it's not going to give you a whole bunch of glide capability. Like it'll give you some.
And even
it's not like you're at 30,000 feet with a Starship and your engines go out and you're like, all right, I've got like 5 minutes to find a good place to put it down. It's like you're at 30,000 feet with Starship and your engines go out and you're like, okay, well, here is the ellipsis in which we're going to hit. Let's see if we can slow down enough before we go splat.
Right.
Like,
yeah, there's no runway to land on. It's not like you can glide there. It's not like we can find any piece of flat land and use that. Also, the fact that you have landing gear on an airplane. You don't have that with Starship. Even if you lose all of your hydraulics and things on an airplane, you can use gravity to do a gear drop. That's not an issue. On Starship, there is no gear, so it's not like you can try and at least land on the landing gear and glide in and coast in or hope that, you can belly land. You can't really do that.
Yeah, like I understand airliner-like operations and thinking about Starship more like an airliner instead of a rocket, and factoring that into how you expect or what expectations you have for launch escape. I get that. That said, even when we get to a point with something like Falcon 9 and Dragon, it's not like a plane. It's a rocket, and yes, it's a good analogy, at least to say airliner-like operations, to get people to understand rockets should fly more and all of that. But it's still a rocket.
No one here is really you guys. I feel I did not convey my train of thought correctly. What I'm saying is that if you want to try and figure out what Starship's escape systems are, look at the existing hardware on Starship and figure out a way to solve those problems. The reason why is because that's what they did with airplanes. That's what they did with airplanes. You don't.
What can you do?
Well, think about it. That's the point. This is a thought exercise. I'm not trying to make one particular point or another.
But I don't like thinking. I just want to yell about stuff.
Yeah,
it's the internet.
Clearly.
Please continue.
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
What would that look like?
You tell me. Could Starship not do an RTLS? I think it could.
But okay. No, that's a good question. Could Starship do an RTLS? Is there a second pad?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think Starship could absolutely do an RTLS.
I mean, also, yeah.
But you're assuming that you can guarantee to do the flip and burn. That is a big if.
That's a good point. But, like, okay, so we're saying, EJ, this is an interesting thread, so I do want to pull it. Like, let's imagine what that would actually look like. So, Starship has launched. We have passed stage separation. Yeah. At some point during ascent, there is a non-catastrophic issue, but we shouldn't go to space. So Starship needs to not go to space. But it's not a catastrophic issue, so it can do things like maneuver still, maintain stability, fire its engines, null out horizontal velocity, that sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely they go back to the launch site and land on the other tower. Presumably the booster's on one tower, the ship would land on the other tower because the booster's still on the first tower because the thing just launched. If there's only one tower, no.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get back to the launch site, but you better hope they have a nice place for it to try an SN10 without exploding.
What about a water landing? It's very clear that it floats. We saw that with Ship 31. It's very clear that thing floats in the water. It absolutely does. At least as long as an airplane would
make it back to Earth.
Holy cow, dude. Now I'm imagining... That is a really good question. Now I'm imagining a Starship floating in the water with the big yellow, inflatable slide things, and, that's really interesting.
That's the point that I'm trying to make, dude. The ships... A launch... And that's why this is a good question. That's why I wanted to go with this. The Starship is not a Saturn V. It's not SLS. It's not even a space shuttle. Space shuttle tried to do what Starship is doing, but
Space shuttle wished it could do what Starship is doing.
Well, they didn't let it. I firmly believe that it could have, right?
I agree, buddy. I agree. Preaching to the choir. Look who you're talking to. You're good.
Yep.
Safe space. Critical support.
Thank you. I feel better. But the point is that with Starship, you're not going to see a retrofitted launch abort system. You're not going to see a huge escape tower at the top. Its abort systems they want flight-like operations, so its abort systems are going to be like flight-like operations. You know?
Do we think? Sorry.
No, go.
Do we think that when we get to the point where they're actually sending crewed vehicles to the moon and Mars, to send a large number of people, it's not just a Starship test flight? Do you think when we get to that point, it'll be like a ship, like an actual cruise ship, and each person would have their own little tube hotel, kind of little cabin kind of thing? Is that plausible, or is that a completely inefficient use of space? Because they have a lot of space.
I think it's totally plausible. I don't think it's going to be 100 people like what SpaceX said, at least initially.
50 maybe.
Yeah, sure. 50, dude. It's 1,000 cubic. It's 1,000 cubic meters.
Wouldn't it be sick if the con-ops for Starship is everybody has their quarters, and for launch and landing, you're in your quarters in your little gravity chair or whatever that rotates. And if something goes really, really wrong, it's just a giant corn cob, just spitting off all the different kernels. Each crew quarter can just shoot off a little escape pod. I don't know. Who knows?
It's a lot of extra mass, dude.
It's a lot of mass.
Eric Fraser, by the way, asking, tube hotel or down sleeper?
No.
Down sleeper.
We don't need to. Hey, look, a dog. Come here, baby. Come here. Yay, look, it's a dog. Hey, we don't have to argue about who's a good
You
crew.
changed the subject real quick, huh, chat? He changed the subject real quick.
Wow.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Look, it's a cute dog.
Wild.
Good girl. She knows exactly when to break in. Water landing. I had never somehow considered that, EJ. That's fascinating.
Right?
I hate that sound.
I hate that sound.
Like SpaceX is pushing for a method, like they're pushing for flight like reliability. So, I said like, okay, what if they do an RTO? And somebody says, oh, well, what if their engines malfunction? Yeah, well, yeah, okay. There are many scenarios with airliners where, you are totally screwed scenario. And we, unfortunately something bad happens, right? Like,
oh man, when are we're going to have to ETOPS rate Raptor engines at some point.
Bingo. Yeah.
Raptors burn or passengers swim. Arbops?
Oh,
Arbops. I'm in. Like, that's the kind of thing that's what you should be looking for when you're looking for abort systems for Starship. It's not like an escape tower or slide wire basket. I mean, they might still have those, but I don't think that crew is going to egress into Starship on the pad, but that's just my personal opinion. But who knows?
Really fascinating question. I did not expect to get that much mileage out of thinking about that. But
that was a good question, man.
Thank you, EJ, for reframing your thinking so we could pull that thread.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was. Everybody was like, no, that's dumb. And I'm like, wait, I'm not saying this right. Hold on a second, dudes.
Yeah, now
this is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
By the way, can we replace that cat sound with Adrian's meow?
No.
From the latest flyover.
Vetoed. I just vetoed it.
I haven't heard that, and I don't want to hear that.
You don't.
Yes, you do. Chat, if you've heard it, come on, you got to agree with me. It is so
Watch
great.
the latest Cape flyover if you want to know what we're talking about.
I spent way too much time making that sound like it did.
Can I? So James in chat, James Meyerkopf. Like, I'm not trying to call you out, dude. So how many people died on airliners before the engine were as reliable as today? Raptors aren't nearly as reliable, not even close. Yeah, well, of course they're not going to be. We had to make a push to get the turbofan design basically perfect. This is what I'm getting at. Like, SpaceX is going to push to get Raptors to that technological maturity level. That's why you see them refactoring Raptor's design between Raptor 1, Raptor 2, and Raptor 3. They're trying to make a staged combustion cycle as simple as possible, which is ridiculous in my mind. That not because it's an impossible feat, but that that is actually a thing in this day and age that I can say that they're working on. But they will mature their propulsion technology enough. They will do it. They have McGregor. You guys, I don't know if you guys watch McGregor live. I have it up all the time. Like, they are testing constantly. Ain't nobody worried about a Merlin engine having a problem right now. I hope I just didn't jinx anything, but you get the idea. Nobody worried about that. What's up?
Dawson, our back channel, is saying kind of what I was trying to get at earlier. Is like, given the energy involved in rocket engines are far more likely to fail in a way that catastrophically affects the vehicle. That's just physics. So, like, there's a tension here to me between, can SpaceX make it reliable enough that they can operate it in an airliner-like way, and rockets are inherently a harder problem.
It's inherently a harder problem because we don't do it enough. Jetliners were a harder problem at one point. So was sailing across the sea way before that.
Yeah,
you have to mature the technology enough. If you mature the technology enough and produce enough of it, you're going to get to a point of technological reliability where launch escape systems are not seen as something that is needed.
I definitely man, you got my brain thinking all kinds of different ways now. Like, are Merlin's propeller engines and Raptors are like high bypass turbofans? We're just in early days, and we need to figure out how to make the turbine blades stop cracking.
I would call Merlin's turbojets in your analogy, and then Raptor engines are bypass turbofans.
Interesting. Some of chat is like, what are they talking about? Some of chat is like, yes!
But you're saying, oh, given the energy involved, it is physics and all that other stuff. All right, what's the solution there? Fly less? What's the solution?
More, absolutely.
What's the solution? Fly less? Oh, well, we don't know if the engines are as reliable. Let's fly less. Like, what does that even mean? Like, all right, you want to take the NASA approach? Sure, yeah, let's go. We already talked about how that's working out for them. Yeah, how about we don't do that?
Let's do some more thanking people for support, though. Laser
You
Tech,
said doo-doo.
I did say dude, why? Why do you do this to me?
Sorry, man.
And it's on the internet.
It's out of love, I swear.
Is it? Laser Tech, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships, and Booster 1058, thanks for gifting 1 as well. And thank you to anyone who picked up some merch from the store. We appreciate it. It's really one of the best ways to support us. So thanks, Sawyer, for doing the human spaceflight plug a little while ago. Terran Space, just out of left field, asking favorite ISS module? The one with the cupola. Duh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
What was that? Tranquility?
Yeah, Node 3.
Yes, Tranquility. Yeah.
So we all agree? Wow. Okay.
All right, fine.
it's
Just
the
because you
cupola,
guys agree,
come on.
I'll say the Z1 Trust segment.
And I'll give a little love to Kibo because it's got its own robot arm. It's got the other part on top of the gem. Kibo's got like 3 different parts to it, so I'll give it some love too.
Gwenever with a comment about our SLS talk saying the ICBMs don't have seals between segments like SLS. That's the part that is time restricted. Is it the field joints?
I mean, you say that's the part that's time restricted. I think it's just it needs to be checked up on to make sure that it's fine. We saw SRB stacked for Artemis 1 for over 2 years. It's clearly not an issue.
Agree. All right. Well, next topic. I think are we all SLS'd out?
Yes, I do need to answer Eric Fraser's question. What shuttle brought up the cupola? Yeah, you want to answer that one, Jack? And Tranquility with it? Which shuttle was that, huh?
Okay, trivia time. Yeah, I was going to say what
2010.
mission.
You're right, it was Endeavour, the best shuttle.
Oh jeez. I think it was on the best shuttle ever, guys. Oh jeez. Oh god. Wow, Jack.
Yeah,
that's
that was totally me saying that. Yeah, I totally believe.
Oh yeah, it was totally me. Sorry, my image is freezing right now.
Oh no. Sawyer.
Yes.
This coast is quiet. What's going on?
Don't wake it up. The East Coast is sleeping.
It's
At least
sleepy.
the range is apparently, yes. In case you've noticed, yeah, take a look right there. There's nothing out at 39A. There's nothing out at 40. There is a rocket at 41. That's Atlas 5. That's still just sitting there waiting. So
Atlas 5.
In case you haven't noticed, the last launch that we had from the Cape was April 14th, which 4 days. Okay, that doesn't seem like a lot. I get that nowadays. But it kind of is. April 12th was the last one they had from LC-39A. And there's not another one coming up for a little bit. I believe the 21st is the next scheduled launch with the launch of CRS-32 and then another Falcon 9 launch from 40 later that night. So that's a week we're talking about with no launches from there. Atlas, the other question that I know a lot of people have been asking was the fact that, okay, Atlas was set to go, what was it, the 8th? And then they decided to stand down because the weather was no good. So they figured, all right, we'll do a day turnaround. And then they decided 2. And then we're like, oh, well, there's the whole deal with SpaceX originally had the range for their Starlink flight, so that's totally fine. So that went off then April 12th. Okay, well, then they had another one from 40, April 14th. But why is it that we still don't have a launch coming up yet for Atlas 5? We still don't have I don't think there's an official set date yet, is there? I think there was a temporary date on next spaceflight, but why is it so quiet? What are your thoughts on this?
Just a lull? I mean, I don't know.
Just a flesh wound?
But it's like,
this
is unusual, the fact that they had a rocket ready to go. We literally listened in to the loops live, and they never said that there were any concerns with the rocket. When asked about it on X, you had Tori Bruno saying, basically, why have we launched yet? He said, ask the range, which is the Eastern Range. The Eastern Range, in case you're unaware, that covers pretty much anything that flies towards or near space along the East Coast. So you're talking to all the way southeast of the Cape, east of the Cape, northeast of the Cape, Wallops, all of that in there is the Eastern Range. There's been nothing from any of it, which is very unusual. And again, the fact that even Tori's like, hey, ask them, and they haven't said anything yet is interesting. I'm wondering, is it military operations that we aren't allowed to talk about? Is it they are doing range maintenance?
That would be my guess, Sawyer. I think range maintenance.
But then how come they wouldn't let Atlas fly and then take the break now? That's what I'm wondering. I know they had to stand down for weather. That's totally fine. But then
because it was maintenance, because they were maintaining.
Why not just let that fly and then you still have the 5 or 6 days here for this? You don't even know why Starlink delayed those first couple of times. Weather was 95% go and it delayed with no real reason. SpaceX never said anything. Was it a rocket issue? Was it the range?
Dude, I'm drawing a blank. We'll probably never know. We'll probably never know the reason. Let's be real. But I'm gonna say range maintenance. Yeah, they were maintaining.
By the way, remember how I literally just said that we don't have an official date yet for Kuiper? Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Breaking news.
Tweeted less than 1 minute ago. I think Tori's watching, which if you are, hey, Tori, we love ULA. Your stuff is awesome. Please,
you're the man.
Let us come back out and
You're
film
the
more
best.
stuff.
Steely-eyed missile man, one of the true legends in the space industry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey, I'd love to see Vulcan if you don't mind. Hit me up, Sawyer Rosenstein at NASASpaceflight.com.
Is that who you are?
No, I thought
it was Ryan Caton.
Yeah,
yeah. I thought we were all Ryan Caton.
But yes, Kuiper 1, the launch of ULA's Atlas V 551 rocket carrying the first production satellites of Amazon's Project Kuiper, is now planned for April 28th, 2025. So a week from Monday, 20 days after its original launch was scrubbed due to weather.
Yay! It's going to launch.
Again, I know, EJ, you're stumped. We're all kind of stumped on this. But what are your thoughts, Jack, as someone who's used to a coast that doesn't launch as much? But genuinely, what are your thoughts on this East Coast lull?
Bruh.
I had to get the dig in there first before the legit question. Come on, we all know East Coast, Best Coast. Chad, back me up.
He's right.
It's not. You're not right. That's not true.
Anyway,
I don't want to be around anymore.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Anyway, no. But
it seems coincidental to me. It just seems coincidental to me. You know, sometimes stuff lines up. Sometimes there's a million launches in a week. Sometimes there's no launches in a week. It's just the way things fall. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you wanted me to like put on my tinfoil hat and start coming up with all right, so there's this new space plane called the Y39Z, and it's yeah, no, I got nothing.
It's just normally because again, when there were fewer launches, of course we saw them have downtime. It was usually during the summer, I think it was. They would have a couple weeks where they would just stand down and work on all of the range assets. It was a pretty much yearly guaranteed thing that there was going to be a part where you have 2 weeks with no launches. Normally, at least, they will say something about that, though. Or there will be an update or a reason explained somewhere that this is why we have this gap of why there are no launches right now. You'd think at least they'd mention it, or the fact that they're delaying. And here's the other crazy thing to think about. With this particular mission, they have a deadline to hit with Kuiper. They have to reach X number of satellites in space by the end, or by June of 2026, to be able to then hit the goal to keep launching the rest of the constellation. They're on a deadline here. I get you delay because of weather. That happens. You have zero control over Mother Nature. But now to lose 20 days because of whatever's going on with the range? That seems crazy to me.
It is a little wild.
What are they supposed to do? Be like, hey, range, stop maintaining.
What? just
Breaking
happened,
news.
Kevin?
Breaking news.
Oh, Kevin's working on the breaking news thing. That's great.
Call the Bondulins. I'm having strong.
Stronculence.
It's called Bond
Breaking
names.
news
The
thing should be
James.
done by Ryan Caden.
It should. It should be done by Ryan Caton Productions.
Yeah, it was the
LLC.
voice of Ryan Caden.
Yeah. I don't know, chat. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm interested on chat's theories of what this could be. Is it they're doing range maintenance? Could it be something super secretive? And what does this actually mean though for Kuiper? And you know, like, are they still going to be able to meet that goal of having
Gregory
X number of
Paul
satellites?
says, Gregory Paul says, maybe there have been launches not just by who we would expect or where we would expect.
No, the plot thickens, Ed boy.
Nobody would expect the West Coast Quisition.
Oh, was that an Eddie reference there, EJ?
My dad has a shovel.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
Buttered toast.
I mean, buttered toast. I mean, okay, right.
Buttered
toast. So
now I want a jawbreaker.
Nice.
Same.
Nice. So Sawyer, you said the Eastern Testing Range goes basically from like the Bahamas all the way up to like Mid-Atlantic regional. It goes all the way up to Wallops, right? But what a lot of people don't know is that the Eastern Testing Range is also out in the ocean. It's out in the ocean. So they could be doing something out there. Like the range, there could be range restrictions out there. We don't know. I still think it's maintenance, dude. I think they're just, dude, when's the last time we had maintenance downtime? When's the last time the range had a downtime? I think they picked a lull, and unfortunately, Project Kuiper got the shaft a little bit, but I think they picked a time where the range needed to be maintained.
Shaft. Anyway.
The range has stopped all of us.
Shut your mouth. Just talking about Shaft.
Dang, man. Pulling a Shaft reference out. Good for you.
Yeah. Don't make me bring up the guitars.
The Rocket Girl is asking, gonna be at the Cape for both launches on Monday. Nice.
All right.
Considering both launches are at night, would it be easier to photograph them or film it while manually tracking?
Is it your first time launching? Seeing a launch here?
It's your first time.
Is it your first time?
Long time listener. Long time listener.
First time caller.
Launcher.
First time launcher? No, seriously. If it's your first time seeing a rocket launch, put the camera away. Just watch it.
I agree.
Put the camera away.
But there's two.
Yeah,
so what should she do on the second one?
On the second one, just take some pictures. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, if you're talking at night, basically once it clears...
Third time? Yeah, okay.
Once it clears the tower, essentially, you're mostly just going to get shots of the engines out the back. You're really not going to be able to see the rocket at all at that point. So, I mean, I wouldn't focus on shooting the rocket itself. Get some shots of it lifting off, maybe, one or two in the air, and then just enjoy it. Enjoy the surroundings, because what you don't really get at night is you see night turn into day, and that's something you can't capture super well in a photo if you want to get the rocket in it and not overexposed.
Or, hear me out, she could, if she has a good tripod, she could shoot a streak shot for both launches and not only have a photo that's not just a super blown out thing of engines only, she could have a streak shot, and if she sets it up right and just pushes the shutter button and then watches the launch while the camera has an open shutter for 2.5 minutes, best of both worlds, baby. So I suggest you shoot a streak shot. At least, try to shoot one. If you shoot one on the first night, or the first launch, and you botch it, then you have a chance to, try it again on the second one. And in both cases, you can actually, enjoy the launch and experience the launch. Hey, look, it's Max. Did he shave his beard? He shaved.
Almost like this was from a year ago now. But yes, this is how to view a rocket launch with some of the best spots. Because a reminder, both of the launches coming up on Monday are RTLS.
Oh.
SpaceX 32, CRS 32, which is a RTLS, and Bandwagon 3. Bandwagons are also usually RTLS, so we have two of them on the same day for about 15 hours apart.
That's awesome. Eric is asking, I want to try a streak shot. For nighttime streak shots, do you still need a neutral density filter, or is it already dark enough? Depends mostly on how far away from the pad you are. I don't ever use filters for launch photography. Like that includes almost all streak shots. I'm just stopping down to like between 14 and 22, depending on the rocket, how bright it is, and how close I am to it. Although for daytime streaks, yeah, I'll use an ND. But yeah, just use a high f-stop somewhere between 14 and 22, depending on how close you are to the rocket and what kind of rocket it is.
Yeah, I've accidentally used an ND filter for streak shots too many times, and you don't get all the foreground detail. It'll still work, but my suggestion, don't. Just figure out the f-stop. Maybe go a little heavier on the f-stop. But
in general, I don't even use filters for launch photography at all, because you can get flaring and unwanted things happening from like reflections of the glass that you have now put in front of your lens and the bright engines. You could get a flare. Like you know when you take an iPhone photo at night and you get like those dots, or a cell phone photo, sorry, you get those dots, like the flare in the image from the stupid plastic camera lenses that are like the size of your fingernail. Nobody likes those flares. They don't look that great. So yeah, I would avoid
the size
using
of the hole of a bagel in LA. Yeah.
Sawyer, why are you the way you are?
Because you are the way you are.
Whoa. Serve that one right back to you.
Bing, bing. Uno reverse card. Good one.
J.J. Abrams disagrees with you, Jack.
Huh?
J.J. Abrams disagrees with you.
Okay, yeah, J.J. Abrams loves flares. I like a nice flare, too, especially one from anamorphic glass. It gives you that nice cinematic blue streak. Nobody in chat knows what we're talking about. But
the only time I ever use an ND filter is for a daytime streak shot.
Yeah, same. There's good flares, and there's bad flares, EJ. You don't want a bad flare. You want a good flare.
Mm-hmm. Flare transition, Kevin, to the next topic.
Pew, pew, pew. He was ready for that one.
Hey.
Yeah, he was on his game that time.
All right, well, that was a fun topic. Do we have any other thoughts on the lull at the SpaceCoast? I'm looking at the panel. I'm looking at chat to see if we have any questions.
The truth is that they could be doing maintenance or they couldn't be. You know, probably never know. I'm just going to chalk this one up to maintenance and we'll call it a day. It's probably wrong, though.
We'll see.
We'll find out in 60 years when it's declassified.
Exactly.
The Rocket Girl responded. They said, that would be really cool. I'll try to see what I can do. I'll share the results. The landings will be something quite out of this world. Indeed.
Sweet. No, but it won't,
back
though.
on this world. But share it with us on our socials, Facebook.
First one, then the other. Yeah, tag us in socials.
Instagram,
wherever you're on, whatever social app you're on, we're on them all. And
whether
you're the Rocket Girl taking a photo of these upcoming launches or whatever, whoever you are, if you get some cool shots of a launch, tag us on the socials. We want to see it.
Yep, tag the NSF social, and tag us. I like seeing when people come to a launch here at the Cape, where they watch from, what they're able to see. I like seeing it too, so tag me at least 2 individually.
Don't tag me. Never tag me. I'm kidding. You can tag me.
I was gonna say. I'm like, wow, that's mean.
We're supposed to disagree on the flame trench, right? We're supposed to disagree.
No,
Don't ever
we're not.
tag me.
Dang.
We played the Uno reverse card again. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you again for this additional support. They say, also, Jack, you missed the joke last time. I asked if your favorite burger was from Jack on the Box.
Oh, yeah. For those who remember from the last Starship flight, Jack used a box.
It's an industry standard practice, all right? You know, like on set, you have a cart with apple boxes on them. That's what you call them on film set. Yeah. It's a nice wooden box. If you have a height discrepancy between two like on-screen talent people, like then you bring out an apple box. You say to the grip team, you're like, hey, bring me a half apple, and the guy will go and get you a half apple, and he'll put it on the ground, and then one of the actors will stand on it, and so you have less of a height discrepancy. It's a common thing to do.
You guys smell that?
Dirty.
You guys smell that? It smells like copium.
I just smell burning toast because I'm having a strong.
All right.
Bondulance. You know.
We call the bondulance.
that stupid meme lives rent-free in my head.
Yeah.
So I guess we should talk about Starship, am I right?
Oh, yeah, that.
What?
Starship?
We just did.
Oh, my hat!
I mean, like,
oh, my hat! 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 taking a quick peek at... my hat! My hat! My hat! My hat!
Oh, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, Zihachi! Shout out, who was that did that? Was that Spaceflight?
Yeah, Spaceboat did that. I think he's gone, Sawyer. I think he left.
He has to go get his hat.
My hat! You'd think by now I would have learned that if I'm recording A-roll for Starbase Update, I should be very aware that Ryan will use, and it's like there should be a Miranda rights for Starbase Update recordings. Like anything you do in this recording can and will be used against you in the court of friends.
On the flame trench, yeah. I love how there was the gifts in the box, and one of them was just the zoom in on your shirt where it said Glenny.
I mean, Glenny is the appropriate name for that vehicle, yes. Cool, let's talk about Starship.
Oh, your hat.
Whee! Oh, my hat. God, it's like actually stuck in my head, too, for the last couple days.
Because my hat!
Space Pope is a good guy and messaged me a couple days ago and was like, hey, I made this. If you hate it, I'll delete it. And I was like, no, it's fine. But it has been stuck in my head the entire... space. Thank you, Space Pope. Cool. Starship. Still no vehicles at the pad. Still no Ship 35 static fire.
What?
My hat?
No.
I mean...
Oh, good. But what?
We got some flame diverters. Those are pretty cool.
The flame diverters are sick.
They're flame buckets. We got to call them that from now on.
Buckets or diverters? Does it matter?
We could call them flame buckets because you can't call them diverters. I wanted to see if anybody was going to correct me. No, it's a flame bucket. Flame bucket is regeneratively cooled diverter, or if it doesn't have regenerative cooling, it's just a bucket. It's just a diverter, not a bucket, right? You called it a flame bucket in the Starbase update, Jack. So that's what it is.
I did ask in our Starbase update, like planning Discord channel or whatever. I was like, do we have a preferred bucket or diverter? I don't know what's technically correct. I know we like to be technically correct here because it's the best kind of correct. So
is this the new transfer tube downcomer?
Gee, please no. It's not a downcomer. The fuel also goes up it. If it's a downcomer, then it's also an upgoer. Come on.
Yeah, but the fuel went up the shuttle's downcomer, and they still called it a downcomer.
True. I knew I liked you, EJ.
I got you, man.
What were we even talking about?
That there's no rockets at the pad, but there is a bucket slash.
No, they moved out both of the flame buckets for Pad B. A huge milestone here. I mean, it's still going to take some time to hook it up, right? But we haven't really seen much in the way of the ships that are going to fly for Flight 9 move around. Kind of I don't know what they're waiting for or what's going on there, but I mean, I don't know. Booster 14 looks like it's kind of ready to go. What do you guys think?
I mean, 35 from static fire, whenever that happens, to flight, we could expect based on previous flows, like around 2 weeks or so. I think Booster's fine. Booster will be plenty ready by then. It's just a matter of when are they going to static fire ship. Also, did you really watch all of SBU just to hear me say flame bucket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Elevator Kate added me on stream and said you watched the entire SBU on Twitch live to hear me say flame bucket.
Yeah, just for that purpose, yes.
What? Why?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you were calling it the right name.
Because you wanted to yell at me if I didn't?
I mean, no, it was super informative and stimulating.
Research. It was research for the flame trench. Or should we call the show the flame bucket?
Maybe we should call it the flame bucket. The flame bucket should be a segment on the flame trench because it's only a part of the larger hole.
Oh man, look at Stargate get
no,
ripped.
it's not a hole. It's a trench.
Alex, go away. You said you weren't going to be here. we're being sad about Stargate right now. Look at it go flop.
Call the Bondulans. I'm having to strong. Sawyer is a Spanish accent now.
In case you're
like
wondering
how-
what we sound like in the back channel, it's literally this.
I like how in this video, the way Thomas edited it, like, there's a lot of shots that actually have something fairly interesting happening that kind of whiz by, and then he really lets you marinate on them pulling Stargate over. It's just like, oh, dude, twisting the knife.
Wait a minute, what kind of car is that? Is that a Supra?
Oh my God.
To the left of the van. You see that? What is that?
No, I
What
can't.
is that over
That's
there?
too dark.
The 1973 Buick
It's the
Skylark.
JFK.
No!
Did you see that? Yeah, I
That's
specifically.
mean.
We were climbing out because you have to be at 10,000 feet to get above Starbase, above the TFR. So we're climbing out, which usually takes some time during the flyover. And I look over to my left at the port just to see if there's anything interesting going on. And bingo, there's the JFK. It's sad, but I figured I'd get some shots of it because everyone seemed to sort of enjoy our coverage of it previously. So we'll keep an eye on it on our flyovers. If you haven't watched this one, it came out Monday. It's gold. It's a good one.
Seeing those shots of that carrier make me a very sad Bostonian.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Oh.
Back and to the left.
How dare you bring that up here?
By the way, EJ, the car you were looking at was a 1973 metallic mint green Buick Skylark.
Reference acknowledged.
With
EJ,
positive traction?
With positive traction.
Yeah, baby. All right.
EJ, did me saying back and to the left make you so mad your head could explode?
That is entirely possible.
Oh, Jesus Louise.
The other cool thing about our flyover is that we flew on Friday, right, which is a week ago, and we flew on the same day that the flame diverters rolled out, but before they rolled out, flame buckets, sorry. And that means, we got to see the infrastructure of the trench in its final form, before they put the buckets in there. Pretty neat. Now the buckets are in there. And I'll say, like, you've seen rollouts, EJ, here at Starbase.
Yep.
It's wild, right? It's
awesome.
One of the few ways to like truly get a sense of scale for these vehicles. And it's every time a rollout happens and one of these things goes like right by me on the road, I'm like, gee, how is this allowed? How is this real? How am I here? All the things.
Dude, I was about, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 meters away from Ship 34 when it rolled by, and it ruined that, and seeing the launch just ruined rockets for me.
Did you do what I always do and like make the internal calculus of, if bad things start to happen, I need to run this way, because you have to run perpendicular to the thing, not parallel, in case it falls over.
Oh yeah, don't Prometheus yourself. That's right. Yes.
After seeing so many vehicles roll out over the years, seeing these flame buckets roll out was really special. Like really special.
Super cool.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to convey it properly. I mean, if you haven't watched the summary video, if you haven't watched Starbase Update of our coverage of that roll, you should, because it's something rolling down Highway 4 that's big. We've seen that, right? But just something about the fact that these things are going to be just roasted by 33 Raptor engines over and over and over. And they're going to be encased in concrete, sitting there in the bottom of that trench underneath the world's largest rocket. And then they're just getting, carted down Highway 4. Like you said, a couple meters away from me. Just kind of mind-bending, man. Just kind of mind-bending. And it's, super like you said, cool. It's a huge milestone. It's a huge milestone getting a little bit closer to Pad B getting operational, which is great.
Jack, we were doing kind of a space news segment over on my end on Twitch, right? I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/EJ_SA. We're over there right now streaming. That's where you can catch Flame Trench on Twitch if you care. If not, ignore that whole thing. Listen to this.
Also, we do a pre-show and post-show for the Flame Trench that's members only, and EJ sometimes has that on his Twitch. So if you're not a member and you want the pre-show and post-show, that's a secret way to get it that I shouldn't tell you about.
Well, not the pre-show, but...
EJ from Twitch, yes. So what I was trying to say is that we went on Google Earth, we were snooping around on my stream, and we were just putting the timeline slider back and forth, which is super cool. You could see the progress. Dude, the most updated image from Google Earth is like from last year, And if you look exactly where that picture is right now, there's a parking lot. It's from April of 2024, and there's a parking lot there.
That's also probably like right after they built the parking lot, because if you remember, that was all scrubland and water on the edge of the pad. Then they cleared it out, demolished the suborbital pad, and then started building up pad B. But in that process, in all of that shuffling around and demolishing and building up, they also built the Gateway to Mars sign, a big wall, and a parking lot. And then like a month later, at least it felt like a month, it was probably longer, like a month later, demolished all of that.
Yeah.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that they replaced scrubland with something that will become land for scrubs?
What? Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
You're welcome, Jack. Have fun.
He just wanted to make up because he's behind his quota on puns.
Yeah,
you keep stealing all my tokens.
See?
I steal your tokens. I steal them up. Milkshake, you get it. It's a reference. So Flame Diverters was really cool. Watch the flyover if you haven't. Buckets. I'm sorry. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to hardwire my brain to say buckets. But if you want me to say buckets, if that's the correct term, I want to be correct. I care about nuance with words, transfer tube, etc.
Yep. That's
all you're gonna give me. That's it. That's all you're gonna give me is a yup.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What do you
That's fair. Yep. Yeah, you got the yup, boy.
I tell you what.
Anyway,
Dad, I'm gonna work at ULA.
Oh, jeez. So Twist is coming up soon.
5 minutes till Twist, baby. Did I break both of you? I'm sorry. Oh God, Dad, I like cost plus contracts. Bobby, no.
What if they want to expand their rocket? Well, we ask them politely but firmly to leave.
Yeah, there you go. And boy, ain't right.
Anyway, the point that I was trying to make is, looking at Google Earth, there was nothing there. There was nothing there, and we've had a pad for the most complicated rocket ever devised by man that actually, does launch and landing operations. Right? We've seen this thing come together in less than a year, and that's absurd to me. That tells me that the next one they go to make, Cape Canaveral, is going to come together really, really fast. SpaceX has said they want to get the 39A pad up and running by the end of the year. I think they'll do it.
Nope.
I absolutely think they'll do it.
No way.
What do you mean no?
No.
What? Why?
I mean no.
Hey, beautiful video that you should watch to know the status of the 39A pad and
9A.
infrastructure.
Yep.
Most recent.
You're not even
SpaceCoast
supposed to
flyover?
be here today.
I don't care.
The most recent SpaceCoast flyover, you mean, available right now that just came out here on this exact YouTube channel, NSF, NASASpaceflight? Edited by probably the best editor that has ever graced this planet. Totally. No judgment, no anything like that.
No.
I'm
who edited
joking.
it?
I'm not that I'm self-centered, but not that self-centered. But yes, I did edit the flyover.
Where's my hat?
It's muted.
Where's my hat? Where's my hat?
That's not what That's not even what I said.
Ah, my hat! Taking a quick peek at... my hat! My hat!
See, it needs another sample.
My hat!
It needs like
My hat!
bagel, 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 bagel.
My hat!
Bagel, 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 bagel.
Taking a quick peek at...
Cream cheese.
my hat!
I'm like, end this now,
My
please.
hat!
I do like the gif at the end, the like fist shake of anger.
EJ is a robot. I'm gonna try not to make a grandma's boy reference.
Adios, turd nugget.
Happy Friday, everybody!
Let's see. We are coming up on This Week in Spaceflight, so we will be doing a premiere for that here in about 3 minutes, so we are going to wrap up the show. Meanwhile, in the Starbase, they're doing some chopstick testing on Pad A. They've done a little bit of testing on Pad B, a whole bunch of chopstick wiggling. more construction, watch the videos if you want a complete update, and watch Monday's video in a couple days if you want to be updated next week as well and continue to be updated. But, yeah, that's Starbase for you. Let's see if we have a couple quick questions, because, again, we are coming up on twists. Chris Nett's asking, can you show the video of Tower A twisting during chopstick testing? That's a Kevin question. I don't know if Kevin has that queued up. But, yeah, as they do that, those rapid closes on the chopsticks, they do cause the tower to twist. Kevin does not have it. It's all right. There's 2 minutes left to go. So
you're welcome, Blake.
We should probably wrap up. I'm sure that video is going to be in one of our videos, whether it's a Starbase update or a daily or a summary or whatever you want to call them, if it hasn't been already. So if you want to see it, you know how to do it.
We haven't had gifts in a while.
Hey, gifts.
Thank you, Elisar.
Thank you, Elisar. Thank you to the whole socials team. Thank you to all of our chat mods. Thank you to everybody involved in the show. Thank you to Kevin for producing the show. Sawyer, thank you for being on.
Of course.
That gets me a call out, Blake. I think that's funny. Just
holy Blake with a $50 super chat saying, thank you, EJ, for turd nuggets.
You're welcome, you dill hole.
That's a real sentence that I just said on air.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
EJ, thanks for being on this week, man. It was a good one. I'm glad we got to delve into various spicy topics as usual.
Yeah, man. All good. Thank you for having me. Okay, all seriousness, I know it's a privilege being on here, and I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I do stream over at Twitch, twitch.tv/EJ_SA. You can catch me there 5 days a week. I'm actually going back over to Twitch land after this. But anyway, it's a privilege being here, and I thank you for having me. It's fun. I like to have some fun here.
Just ask Brock who EJ from Twitch is, and that'll get you there, too.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. All right. Thank you again to all of our launch directors and flight engineers. Thank you to all of our members. Thank you to everybody who watches our content. We can't do this without you guys, and we love doing it. So by proxy, that means we love you. That's right. You can take that to court. Seriously, though, thank you. And even if you can't support us monetarily, we appreciate you for watching our stuff. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing. But the launch directors and flight engineers are the top level of our membership program, so always want to call them out when we can. Thank you so much to our members and our viewers. With that, let's go watch Twist.
Hey, what about Sawyer? Outro Sawyer.
I did, didn't I? Sawyer, thanks for being on.
You gave me like 2 seconds to respond. Thank you.
There's 25 seconds left. Go.
I know. Go. I see the clock. I'm watching the clock, dude. Unlike someone, I'm watching the clock.
What do you think's happening here? This has just got real spicy.
Last week was great. No, but thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
You love bringing up last week.
I love. Hey, this is the first time I brought it up, but I love being here with all of you. Thank you so much, Jack. Your opinion on bagels is wrong. Let's go watch Twist.
Thanks to Kevin for having the show. Bagels are good.
And this is your Flame Trench. Flame Trench, 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 Flame Trench.
And here we go.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside speed off. Bring in speed off. Off. It's orange!
145! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Look at this! Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?